Your entire life was planned before you were even born. Every choice you make, every connection you form, and every challenge you face were not random but purposeful. Ancient teachings and modern discoveries suggest that your soul existed in a realm beyond time, weaving the intricate tapestry of your existence. You selected your parents, your trials, and even the obstacles you would encounter, all designed to foster your growth and evolution. However, this profound knowledge has been hidden, dismissed, or labeled as taboo by those who fear its implications. If you truly understood the origins of your soul, you would realize the immense power you hold over your own life, power that some would rather keep concealed. In this video, we will explore the secrets of pre-birth existence, delving into esoteric teachings, scientific parallels, and forbidden wisdom that unlock the purpose of your life. Imagine a realm beyond anything we know, a space of pure consciousness where time, as we perceive it, does not exist. Ancient wisdom describes this dimension as the pre-birth realm, where the soul resides before embarking on its earthly journey. In Tibetan Buddhism, this phase is known as the Sitpa Bardo, one of several intermediate states of being. Here, the soul exists between worlds, unbound by a physical body but deeply connected to the spiritual laws that govern its destiny. This is not a chaotic void but a place of profound intention. The Sitpa Bardo is believed to be where karma guides the soul's next incarnation, pulling it toward future experiences based on unresolved desires, debts, and spiritual intentions. Tibetan Buddhism is not the only tradition that speaks of this mysterious realm. Hermetic texts reference the concept of a plane of causation, where the soul aligns with the vibrational frequencies of its chosen path. The famous Hermetic axiom "as above, so below" perfectly captures this idea. What occurs in higher realms shapes the material reality, and the decisions made in the pre-birth stage determine the course of the soul's earthly experience. In this dimension, your essence is not bound by flesh and bone, but exists as a luminous energy fully aware of its infinite potential. This realm matters because it is here that the blueprint of your life is created. Every challenge, every joy, and every heartbreak was not random but consciously chosen, influenced by past life imprints and the soul's desire to evolve. Think of it as a cosmic drafting table where you, alongside universal laws, design the outline of your human experience. Guided by karma, your soul is drawn to the family, environment, and circumstances that will provide the lessons necessary for your spiritual growth. This idea of pre-birth planning challenges the common belief that life is a series of coincidences, instead offering a perspective of profound intentionality. Even the most painful experiences are seen as opportunities for development and transformation. It's not an easy concept to accept, especially when facing suffering or loss, but ancient wisdom assures us that these experiences are part of a greater design. If you've ever felt that certain events or relationships in your life seem destined, or if you've sensed an underlying purpose in your journey, you've likely caught a glimpse of this hidden truth. However, the pre-birth realm is not solely about planning challenges. Some traditions describe it as a place of immense beauty and peace, where souls reconnect with a higher sense of unity before their next incarnation. In Gnostic teachings, this space is referred to as the pleroma, a state of divine fullness and harmony. It stands in stark contrast to earthly life, which is often dominated by duality and separation. Yet, this period of rest and reflection is temporary. The soul knows it must return, descending from the higher state of existence into the dense physical reality of human life. The choices made in the pre-birth realm are not arbitrary. They are deeply tied to karmic imprints, acting as a driving force behind the soul's path. Karma is not about punishment but rather balance. an intricate system of cause and effect that ensures every action has a corresponding reaction, guiding the soul's evolution. This principle explains why some individuals are born into privilege while others face significant struggles. From a spiritual perspective, every circumstance offers exactly what the soul needs to progress. While many question whether such teachings are allegorical or metaphorical, modern research into past life regression and near-death experiences often aligns with these ancient ideas. Under deep hypnosis, individuals have reported vivid recollections of the pre-birth realm, describing how they chose their parents, their major life challenges, and even the timing of their arrival into the physical world. These accounts, remarkably consistent across cultures and backgrounds, suggest that the pre-birth dimension may hold profound truths that extend beyond myth and speculation. As we continue to peel back the layers of this hidden knowledge, it becomes clear that understanding the pre-birth realm is more than a philosophical pursuit. It is the key to unlocking your full potential in this life. Imagine knowing that every struggle you face, every triumph you achieve, and every relationship you cultivate is part of a greater tapestry woven with intention and purpose. This perspective shifts how you perceive challenges, transforming them from random hardships into opportunities for growth and self-discovery. The knowledge that you chose your life's experiences before birth empowers you to navigate them with confidence, wisdom, and a sense of responsibility. No longer are you a passive participant in the unfolding of your existence. Instead, you become an active creator, aligning yourself with the deeper purpose your soul intended. One of the most profound aspects of pre-birth planning is the concept of soul contracts. These agreements, made between souls before incarnation, establish the relationships and experiences that will shape your human journey. Whether it's a loving parent, a challenging friend, or even an adversary, each person in your life plays a specific role in your spiritual evolution. These soul contracts are not enforced upon you. Rather, they are entered into willingly, with love and mutual understanding to support one another's growth. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant connection, as if you've known them before? Or perhaps encountered someone who challenges you at every turn? According to the theory of soul contracts, these individuals are fulfilling roles agreed upon before birth, guiding you toward the lessons your soul seeks to learn. The idea that you have willingly chosen certain hardships might seem difficult to accept, especially in moments of suffering. However, from a higher perspective, these challenges are not punishments but catalysts for transformation. Growth rarely occurs in comfort. Instead, it is through adversity that resilience, compassion, and wisdom are cultivated. If a soul seeks to develop patience, it may choose a lifetime filled with obstacles that test its endurance. If it desires to understand love and forgiveness, it may encounter relationships that demand these qualities to flourish. Recognizing the role of soul contracts allows you to approach life's difficulties with greater acceptance and a willingness to extract meaning from every experience. This perspective reframes challenges as opportunities, empowering you to embrace your journey with purpose and clarity. The concept of soul contracts also provides insight into the recurring patterns we experience in life, those situations or relationships that seem to repeat until we finally learn their lessons. Have you ever found yourself drawn to similar circumstances, whether in love, career, or personal growth? According to pre-birth planning, these recurring themes are not coincidences. They are the soul's way of guiding you toward resolution and evolution. For example, someone who struggles with self-worth may find themselves repeatedly encountering relationships that challenge their confidence until they finally recognize their inherent value. Until the lesson is fully integrated, the pattern persists, appearing in different forms but always pointing toward the same core issue. Once acknowledged and addressed, these karmic cycles can be broken, allowing the soul to move forward on its journey. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the idea that the soul never journeys alone. Soul groups, comprised of individuals who reincarnate together across lifetimes, collaborate to help each other achieve spiritual growth. These groups can include family members, close friends, mentors, and even rivals, all playing essential roles in the unfolding of our destinies. While the interactions in our current lives may seem ordinary, they are often part of a grander, pre-agreed arrangement designed to facilitate the evolution of all involved. The people who challenge us the most are often our greatest teachers, reflecting aspects of ourselves that require healing or growth. When viewed through the lens of pre-birth planning, even the most difficult relationships can be seen as opportunities to expand our understanding and deepen our connection to our soul's purpose. However, once we are born, we forget everything. This phenomenon, often referred to as the veil of forgetting, ensures that life feels authentic and allows for genuine free will. Imagine if you remembered every detail of your pre-birth planning, every challenge, every soul contract, every intended lesson. The experience of life would lose its depth and spontaneity, becoming a scripted play rather than a journey of self-discovery. The veil allows us to fully engage with life, to experience its joys and struggles as if for the first time. Yet, despite this forgetting, our soul continues to guide us through intuition, synchronicities, and inner knowing. Those inexplicable feelings of déjà vu or an unexplainable draw to certain places or people. These are glimpses beyond the veil, whispers from our higher self, gently nudging us back toward the path we chose before birth. The veil of forgetting, while often seen as an obstacle, serves a crucial purpose in the soul's journey. Without it, the lessons we came here to learn would lack authenticity and depth. Life's trials and triumphs would lose their meaning if we knew their outcomes in advance. This forgetting allows us to engage with our experiences fully, to make choices from a place of true free will, and to explore the richness of human emotion without preconceptions. However, the soul is never truly disconnected from its higher wisdom. Through moments of deep introspection, meditation, and life's pivotal experiences, glimpses of our pre-birth knowledge can resurface, offering guidance and reassurance. These moments of clarity, whether through sudden insights, recurring dreams, or a deep inner knowing, serve as reminders that our journey is unfolding as intended, even when it feels uncertain. Despite the veil, universal laws such as karma, vibration, and attraction continue to shape our lives with precision and purpose. The law of karma ensures that past actions and unresolved lessons influence our present circumstances, creating opportunities for growth and healing. The law of vibration states that everything in the universe, including thoughts and emotions, carries a specific frequency that attracts corresponding experiences. When we align our energy with love, gratitude, and purpose, we attract experiences that resonate with these vibrations. Conversely, when we operate from fear, doubt, or resentment, we may find ourselves facing challenges that mirror these lower frequencies. Understanding these laws allows us to navigate life with greater awareness, empowering us to make choices that align with our soul's highest path. However, despite their profound influence, these universal laws have been hidden from mainstream understanding. Throughout history, powerful institutions and societal structures have suppressed this knowledge, recognizing that an awakened and empowered population is far more difficult to control. Ancient teachings about pre-birth planning and spiritual sovereignty have been dismissed as myths or relegated to esoteric circles, ensuring that most people remain unaware of their true potential. Organized religions, political systems, and economic structures thrive on the belief that life is chaotic and beyond our control, encouraging dependence on external authorities rather than self-discovery. But as more people awaken to these truths, the collective consciousness shifts, breaking free from the illusion of powerlessness and reclaiming the understanding that each individual is a co-creator of their own reality. The suppression of this knowledge has not been accidental. Throughout history, those in positions of power, whether religious institutions, political regimes, or corporate entities, have recognized that an empowered population is a threat to their control. By promoting the idea that life is random, unpredictable, and dictated by external forces, these systems have maintained influence over people's beliefs, choices, and behaviors. If individuals understood that they consciously chose their life circumstances before birth, and that they have the power to shape their reality through intention and alignment with universal laws, they would no longer seek validation, guidance, or salvation from external authorities. Instead, they would turn inward, reclaiming their inherent sovereignty and transforming the very fabric of society. The veil of forgetting, combined with societal conditioning, keeps most people trapped in a cycle of fear, doubt, and conformity. The prevailing narrative encourages a mindset of victimhood, where individuals believe they are at the mercy of fate, chance, or external forces. As a result, many spend their lives seeking happiness and fulfillment through material pursuits, relationships, or societal approval, only to find themselves feeling unfulfilled and disconnected. However, those who begin to remember their soul's purpose, whether through spiritual exploration, personal challenges, or moments of profound introspection, start to break free from this illusion. They realize that life is not happening to them, but rather for them, with every experience serving a deeper purpose in their soul's evolution. This realization marks the beginning of true awakening. As individuals start to embrace the understanding of their pre-birth planning and the universal laws governing their existence, they naturally begin to make different choices, ones that are aligned with their authentic selves. They may feel drawn to new paths, relationships, and opportunities that better reflect their soul's purpose. Fear diminishes, replaced by a sense of empowerment and trust in the unfolding of life. The realization that each challenge is an opportunity for growth fosters resilience and gratitude, transforming struggles into stepping stones for personal and spiritual development. This shift in consciousness creates a ripple effect, inspiring those around them to question their own lives and seek deeper meaning, ultimately contributing to the collective awakening of humanity. As more individuals awaken to the reality of their pre-birth planning and soul's purpose, a profound transformation begins to unfold, not only on a personal level but within society as a whole. When people recognize that their challenges are not arbitrary, but carefully chosen opportunities for growth, they start to approach life with greater resilience, purpose, and compassion. Relationships take on new depth as we begin to see others not as adversaries or obstacles, but as partners in our spiritual journey. This awareness fosters a sense of unity and interconnectedness, dissolving the illusion of separation that has kept humanity divided for so long. With each person who embraces their soul's mission, the collective consciousness rises, creating a more harmonious and intentional world. However, this awakening is not without its challenges. As individuals step into their power and align with their higher purpose, they may encounter resistance, from within and from external sources. Old fears, doubts, and societal expectations can resurface, attempting to pull them back into familiar patterns of limitation and conformity. Friends, family, and institutions that thrive on the status quo may struggle to understand the changes happening within those who are awakening. This is where the importance of inner strength and spiritual practices comes into play. Meditation, self-reflection, and a commitment to personal growth become essential tools in navigating the complexities of transformation. By staying grounded in their truth, individuals can overcome these challenges and continue to evolve with clarity and confidence. The most powerful realization that comes with understanding pre-birth planning is that life is not happening by chance. It is a co-creative process between the soul and the universe. Each thought, action, and intention contributes to shaping one's reality, and with this awareness comes the responsibility to live consciously. Instead of reacting to life's events, individuals can take an active role in shaping their destiny by aligning their energy with their highest values and aspirations. This understanding fosters a deep sense of trust in the universe, trust in oneself, and trust in the process of life. Challenges become opportunities, setbacks become redirections, and every experience becomes a valuable piece of the soul's evolutionary puzzle. By embracing this truth, individuals not only empower themselves but inspire others to embark on their own journey of self-discovery and transformation. As individuals deepen their understanding of pre-birth planning and their role in shaping their reality, they begin to experience a profound shift in perspective. No longer do they view challenges as obstacles to be feared, but rather as stepping stones designed to unlock their highest potential. This shift brings about a sense of empowerment that transcends the limitations imposed by society, encouraging people to step into their authentic selves with courage and conviction. When you recognize that you are the architect of your own life, you start to take ownership of your experiences, viewing every interaction, hardship, and success as purposeful elements of your soul's evolution. This newfound awareness allows for a greater sense of inner peace and resilience, even in the face of adversity. Moreover, this realization fosters a deeper sense of gratitude for the present moment. Instead of constantly striving for external validation or chasing fleeting goals, individuals begin to find fulfillment in the here and now. They understand that their soul chose this exact moment, with all its complexities and beauty, to learn and grow. Gratitude becomes a powerful tool for transformation, shifting focus from what is lacking to what is already present. By embracing each experience with an open heart and a sense of wonder, life takes on new meaning, and the journey itself becomes a source of joy and enlightenment. This perspective also helps in releasing the need for control, allowing individuals to surrender to the flow of life with trust and acceptance. As people awaken to their pre-birth planning and the greater purpose behind their existence, they naturally become beacons of light for others. Their transformation radiates outward, inspiring those around them to question their own paths and seek deeper truths. This ripple effect can lead to collective transformation, where communities shift from fear-based mindsets to ones rooted in love, unity, and collaboration. In a world that often feels chaotic and disconnected, the realization that life is intentional and purposeful offers hope and guidance. It encourages people to move beyond divisive narratives and embrace the universal truth that we are all interconnected, each playing a unique role in the grand design of existence. Through this understanding, individuals can contribute to a more conscious and compassionate world, where personal growth and collective evolution go hand in hand. Imagine this. An electron moves up, turns around, and then comes right back. A Swiss physicist once proposed an idea along these lines, an idea so unconventional that it was dismissed by many at the time. But what if he wasn't just theorizing? What if he had stumbled upon something that exposed a fundamental flaw in how we perceive reality? Modern science is only now catching up, proving that the reality you live in isn't solid or fixed. It's a shifting illusion, a construct that morphs based on your thoughts, your choices, and your awareness. What if everything you've been told about the world is wrong? What if you have been unknowingly trapped in just one version of yourself, while infinite possibilities exist all around you? A single physicist's discovery changed everything. It shattered the very idea of time as a rigid sequence. His findings prove that your past, present, and future are not preordained. They are constantly being rewritten based on your consciousness. Right now, you exist in one timeline, but what if you could shift to a better one? One where you are more successful, more powerful, completely limitless? The key to this transformation lies hidden in quantum physics. And once you understand it, you will never see reality the same way again. Erwin Schrödinger, the man who didn't just revolutionize physics, but exposed a flaw in the very fabric of the universe. His famous thought experiment, Schrödinger's cat, wasn't about a cat at all. It was about you. It was about proving that existence is not fixed, that reality is a shifting probability, collapsing into form only when observed. In other words, the universe doesn't exist in a definite state until your mind decides what is real. But here's what they never told you. Ancient civilizations already knew this secret. The Emerald Tablet, Buddhist sutras, Hermetic texts, they all spoke of a hidden force, an invisible code that connects all things. They knew that your thoughts don't just influence reality, they create it. And yet, this knowledge was erased, suppressed, rewritten. Why? Because those who understand the true nature of reality become unstoppable. For centuries, institutions, scientific, religious, political, have done everything in their power to keep you blind. They conditioned you to believe that you are powerless, that the world is beyond your control, that you are nothing more than a tiny speck in an unfathomable universe. But Schrödinger's discovery confirms what the ancient masters always taught. Reality is not something you live in, it is something you create. Have you ever felt that eerie, unshakable sense that something is off? A déjà vu so intense it feels like you've lived this moment before? A song, a scent, or a fleeting glimpse of something that rips you out of the present and drops you somewhere else. Somewhere you know, but shouldn't? This isn't just in your head. Time is not what we've been told. We were taught that time moves in a straight line, from past to future. But what if that's a lie? What if time loops, bends, resets, without you even noticing? What if reality itself isn't fixed, but something you are constantly shifting through? Think about those moments when time feels slippery. You wake up, go through your morning, and suddenly a glitch. Your coffee spills exactly like it did before. A conversation unfolds word for word as if you've already had it. For a split second, reality feels scripted, as if you're repeating something, trapped in a pattern you can't see. Now take it further. Every decision you make creates a fork in the road. Every choice splits reality into alternate versions, each playing out differently. In one timeline, you took the risk. In another, you played it safe. These parallel existences run side by side, unseen but real. But what if you could tap into them? What if your dreams, those vivid flashes of places you've never been but somehow remember, are glimpses into these other lives? What if every déjà vu, every gut feeling that you know what's coming next, is proof? Proof that you are slipping between timelines. Now here's the real shock. If all possibilities exist, are you really making choices, or just following a path already laid out? Reality isn't a straight line. It's a web. Time loops back. Moments repeat. Alternate versions of you exist right now, just out of reach. It's almost as if a veil exists between our reality and what could have been. A thin, nearly invisible barriers separating us from alternate versions of ourselves, hidden possibilities, and unseen timelines. But what if that veil isn't natural? What if reality as we know it has been limited on purpose? Imagine reality as an immense cosmic library, but instead of books, it contains every possible outcome, every choice, every alternate version of history. And yet, for some reason, you are only allowed access to a single page at a time, while the rest remain hidden, unseen, suppressed. Ancient civilizations spoke of gods and mystics who could bend time, weave reality, and access different dimensions. Mythologies across the world tell stories of cycles, loops in time, where events repeat until something changes. These were not just legends, they were echoes of a deeper truth. Every decision you make creates a ripple, spinning off into different possibilities. In some versions of history, events played out another way. And sometimes, just sometimes, you can feel it. A fleeting moment when something seems off. A sudden flash of recognition that doesn't make sense. Scientists and philosophers have long debated whether our consciousness is filtering out these other realities. Maybe it's a built-in defense mechanism, a way to keep us focused, sane, and grounded in one timeline. Or maybe it's something bigger. Maybe we have been conditioned to ignore the signs. Look around. The idea of parallel worlds, time loops, and alternate realities has appeared in myths, folklore, and science fiction for centuries. Why? Because something in us remembers. Something in us knows that what we see isn't all there is. And now, science is catching up. As physics unlocks the secrets of time, space, and quantum mechanics, we are closer than ever to proving what our ancestors already hinted at. Reality is far stranger, far more flexible, and far less limited than we have been led to believe. But if that's true, then why is this knowledge only now resurfacing? Reality is not as solid as we think. Every moment, every choice, every action might be just one thread in a vast unseen web of possibilities. Science isn't just hinting at this, it's actively proving it. Quantum mechanics has already shattered everything we thought we knew. At the smallest level, particles don't exist in a fixed state. They exist in multiple states at once. Only when observed do they choose a single reality. This isn't just bizarre physics. It's a direct sign that multiple realities exist simultaneously. Now, take that idea further. What if every choice you make spawns a new reality? Every decision splits off into a new timeline, where another version of you plays out the option you didn't choose. This isn't just science fiction. The multiverse theory suggests this is how reality actually works. And the strangest part? There may be hidden connections between these alternate worlds. Think about Back to the Future, where a few changes in the past completely reshape the present. These aren't just fun ideas. They are based on real scientific principles. Quantum entanglement proves that particles, even when separated by vast distances, remain instantly connected. Change one, and the other reacts immediately, no matter how far apart they are. If this is happening at the quantum level, could it be happening at the level of reality itself? Could different versions of you, existing in different timelines, be subtly intertwined in ways we don't yet understand? It gets even crazier. String theory suggests that the entire universe, including all possible universes, is made of vibrating energy strands. These strings don't just shape our reality. They could be shaping countless others. Different vibrations could create entirely different worlds, coexisting right alongside ours, unseen, but very real. And then there's time. Einstein's theory of relativity tells us time is not fixed. It bends, stretches, and folds depending on speed and gravity. This means the past, present, and future aren't separate. They are layered, stacked, and potentially accessible. Time doesn't just move forward. It could loop, intersect, or even split into parallel versions. This isn't just theoretical. It's already embedded in our culture. Think of Groundhog Day, where Bill Murray relives the same day over and over, only able to escape once he evolves as a person. Or The Matrix, where the world we accept as real is actually an illusion. These stories resonate because, on some level, we feel they could be true. You've heard "Beam me up, Scotty," but what if I told you quantum teleportation is already real? Scientists aren't teleporting people yet, but they are teleporting quantum information across distances, without anything physically traveling. No spaceships, no science fiction gadgets, just pure, mind-bending physics. Here's how it works. Using quantum entanglement, researchers have made a particle state disappear in one place and instantly reappear somewhere else. Nothing moves through space. It's as if reality itself copies and pastes the information while deleting the original. But here's the kicker. If anyone tries to eavesdrop on the transfer, the data self-destructs. Translation? The universe doesn't let you spy without breaking the system. This isn't just theoretical. It's happening in labs right now. While teleporting humans is still in the realm of Hollywood fantasy, the impact of quantum teleportation on cybersecurity and computing is already massive. We're looking at a future where unbreakable encryption becomes reality, where even the best hackers in the world would need to defy the laws of physics just to intercept a message. But now, let's take it even further. Some researchers dare to ask, if quantum states can be preserved, erased, and manifested elsewhere, what does that mean for consciousness? Think about it. If a particle's information can be teleported, and if consciousness turns out to be a complex quantum process, then could a mind, memories, awareness, identity one day be transferred across space? Right now, it sounds like pure science fiction. But quantum physics has a habit of turning yesterday's impossible into today's headline. So maybe, just maybe, we are on the first steps toward unlocking something even more profound. A reality where teleportation isn't just about moving data, but about moving minds. What does this mean for you? Some researchers believe time loops could explain déjà vu, prophetic dreams, and strange glitches in reality. Imagine if, just for a second, you slipped into a version of time that had already happened. What if, in some hidden way, we are constantly jumping between slightly different versions of our own reality? And quantum computers are now pushing these boundaries even further. Unlike classical computers, which process data in a linear way, quantum computers operate in multiple states at once, just like quantum particles. This means they can simulate complex multi-reality systems, bringing us closer to unlocking how reality truly works. Right now, you are operating within one version of reality. But what if you could break through? Scientists have already proven that time doesn't move in a straight line. Choices don't just disappear, and alternate timelines may be real. But here's what they won't tell you. You can learn to access them. This isn't just theory. People have unknowingly tapped into these hidden layers of existence for centuries. Through intuition, through déjà vu, through moments of pure, unexplainable clarity. But what if you could do it on command? What if you could shift timelines, rewrite outcomes, and consciously step into the most powerful version of your life? Stay with me, because in the next few moments, you'll discover exactly how. And once you see the truth, there's no going back. Here's how to bend reality using the hidden code. Step 1. Pay attention to patterns, synchronicities, repeated signs, strange coincidences. These are not random. They are proof that your energy is influencing reality. The more you notice them, the more they happen. Step 2. Understand that your outer world is reflecting your inner state. If your reality feels chaotic, it's because your energy is chaotic. Shift your thoughts, shift your emotions, and watch how the universe physically rearranges itself around you. Step 3. For the next 24 hours, focus on one specific thought or symbol. It could be a certain phrase, a specific object, or an unusual image. Then watch how reality bends to bring it into your awareness. Most people will never understand this. They will keep living in a reality dictated by external forces, never realizing they are the ones creating the script. But you now know the truth. And the next step is even bigger. Because if you can shift energy this easily, what happens when you jump timelines entirely? And what if I told you that right now, there are multiple versions of you, each living a different reality? One version of you is stuck in the same old patterns. Another version is thriving beyond your wildest dreams. The only difference? The choices you make today decide which version of you becomes real. But this isn't science fiction. This is quantum physics. Every time you make a decision, whether it's to take action or stay the same, you are collapsing infinite possibilities into a single reality. Right now, you are standing at a crossroads between multiple parallel timelines. And the craziest part? You can consciously choose which one to step into. Scientists have already proven that subatomic particles don't exist in a fixed state until they are observed. Until a choice is made, they remain in a state of pure potential, existing in multiple states at once. This is called the many-worlds interpretation, and it suggests that every possibility already exists. You just have to step into it. Think about this. Somewhere in another timeline, there is a version of you who already has everything you desire. The success, the confidence, the freedom. It already exists. So why aren't you living it yet? Because most people are locked into their old identity. They believe they are stuck in their circumstances. But the moment you change your identity, you shift into the timeline that matches it. This is the art of quantum leaping, hacking reality by shifting into the version of yourself that already lives the life you want. Imagine standing at the edge of time, staring into an infinite ocean of possibilities. Each moment, each decision stretching into countless timelines, each one unfolding in a different way. Now, imagine if you could jump between them, not just as a thought experiment, but as a real, tangible shift in your reality. This is the quantum jump, the ability to shift consciousness, to move from one timeline to another, where circumstances change, sometimes subtly, sometimes drastically. It's like standing in a hallway lined with endless doors, each leading to a different version of your life. The moment you open one, everything changes. Alternate timelines aren't just science fiction. Every choice you make branches off into a new reality, creating a version of existence where another you took a different path. Ever wondered how your life would have played out if you had made a different decision? That reality still exists. The question is, can you step into it? The key lies in your mind, your focus, your energy, your belief system. They dictate which timeline you experience. This theory isn't just about looking back at what could have been. It's about shifting into the version of life that aligns with your true purpose. So how do you do it? It starts with intentional focus. You don't just think about another reality, you embody it. You act, feel, and make decisions as if you are already living it. Like tuning a radio to a specific frequency, your thoughts and emotions lock you into a new timeline. Many believe that certain practices, meditation, visualization, affirmations, can act as tools for these shifts. By aligning your energy with the reality you want, you start vibrating at the frequency of that timeline. The more you lock into it, the more seamless the jump becomes. People who claim to have experienced quantum jumps report small but undeniable shifts in their surroundings. An object slightly out of place, a memory that doesn't quite align with what others remember, even entire life events unfolding differently than expected. While anecdotal, these experiences challenge what we assume to be fixed reality. But here's the real question. If all possibilities exist, which reality are you choosing right now? Because at this very moment, you hold the power to shift everything. Step 1. Reprogram your mind. The reality filter. The first thing you must understand is that your perception creates your reality. Your brain acts as a filter, processing trillions of bits of information every second, but it only lets in what aligns with your beliefs. This is why two people can live in the same world but experience completely different realities. Ancient texts and modern neuroscience both confirm that what you focus on expands. If you continuously think about problems, you will see more problems. If you tune your mind towards solutions and new possibilities, you start shifting into a timeline where those solutions already exist. Practical exercise. For the next 24 hours, take control of your focus. Whenever you catch yourself thinking negatively, consciously redirect your thoughts. Instead of saying this is impossible, say a solution already exists, I just haven't seen it yet. Do this consistently, and you'll start shifting into a reality where better outcomes manifest effortlessly. Step 2. The quantum identity shift. Embody the future you. Quantum physics suggests that all possibilities exist simultaneously, including a version of you that has already achieved everything you desire. The key is to stop seeing that version of yourself as separate from you and become that version in the present moment. Your identity dictates your reality. If you believe you are stuck, you will stay stuck. If you shift into the mindset of someone who has already succeeded, the external world will begin to mirror that belief. Practical exercise. Write down a detailed description of the most powerful version of yourself, the one who has already achieved everything you want. How do they think? How do they act? What kind of decisions do they make? Now, for the next 7 days, embody that version. Walk, talk, and think like them. The moment you do this, you are tuning into that timeline and pulling. The greatest danger for humanity today, because it is the only real danger, is man himself. Consider this reality. He is his greatest enemy, and at the same time, we all remain utterly unaware of this. Doesn't it feel like there's an invisible force that is stopping you from achieving the success, love, and freedom you know you can have? And the worst part? Trying everything from Emildano's setting, visualization, and even working yourself to the bone? Everything always seems to lead to a dead end. Now imagine for a moment that this is not random at all. What if I told you that a part of you, and the only part of you that is buried so deep, secretly controls the life you are living? This influence affects your relationships, your finances, and even your fate. And here's the horrifying piece. 99% of people will remain ignorant of this reality for the rest of their lives. They will simply die with this hidden force, all the while deep inside life, being unaware of the chains that rule their life. But you aren't, because you are about to learn something so powerful, so harmful, so liberating that the illusion has held you captive your entire life. But be warned, once you see it, you can never unsee it. True freedom and authentic expression give rise to a way of being which is in recognition of the illusion of the self. 3. People have been trying to seek out answers for centuries, and the same questions seem to linger. Why do I keep making the same blunders time and time again? Why do I repeatedly self-sabotage precisely at the moment when things appear to be going right? Why do I feel drawn to the same toxic relationships, debilitating struggles, and unexplainable fears? This problem was solved by one man. This man was Carl Jung, a Swiss psychologist whose perspectives forever changed the view of the human mind. Jung uncovered that every individual contains a concealed, unconsciously perceiving self, a person's features, wants, and feelings which they have been taught to deny. It is possible you grew up being told that displaying anger is bad, thus you bottle up your feelings. Or perhaps you were made to feel that wanting wealth is sinful, hence you subconsciously chose to self-sabotage. Or perhaps you are so scared of being unwanted that you play so small without understanding that you are the one preventing yourself from becoming so much more. 1. But here's the most mind-blowing part. To Jung, the shadow was not a deficiency. It was a latent strength waiting to be uncovered. He noted, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Every single fear, every limitation that exists for you is not an accident. It is the work of your mind taking charge while you do nothing. If left unaddressed, you are bound to live in the same cycles for the remainder of your life." Alas, Jung also discovered that the shadow was precious, for if one should encounter it, that person would be free of its grasp. Are you prepared to break free? In the next few minutes, I will tell you exactly how to do just that. The only real danger one faces in this world is himself, and ironically, his greatest enemy is himself. Most people live their lives oblivious to the idea that they could be the perpetrators of their own failure. Do you get the feeling that there is something obscure that stands in the way of you achieving the life that you have always dreamed of? You set unrealistic goals for yourself and visualize accomplishing them. You even end up working harder than you have ever done before. Yet time and time again comes hard reality check, where no matter how hard you try, you continue to end up in similar hurdles, similar obstacles, and similar letdowns. Do you want to know the crazy part? This is not a coincidence. Instead, something dormant deep within you has been manipulating and controlling your entire universe, which includes your work, relationships, self-esteem, and even fate. It is really scary to consider the fact that almost no one ever comes face to face with that part of reality. To put it bluntly, the majority of the population goes their whole life without experiencing waking life while being completely unaware of the scavenging force that drains the potential out of them. You are different. I can confidently say that you have not deluded yourself into believing that everything around you is all sunshine, while constantly being on the verge of uncovering a paradox so astonishing and terrifyingly life-changing, waiting to liberate you from illusions that have encapsulated your life. Throughout history, there are some questions that continue to puzzle everyone, such as, why can't I change my ways? Why do I always get in my own way the moment my life begins to take a turn for the better? Why do get involved in unhealthy relationships that bring along pain, expectations, and suffering? A single man had answers to most such questions. Carl Jung was a psychologist from Switzerland who at the mid-1900s made astonishing claims about the human mind, which radically shifted our understanding of it. The discoveries, Jung claimed, are far too deep and uncomfortable, to the point that they illustrate the reasons behind why so many people of today continue to voluntarily confine themselves within self-imposed, undetectable walls. Jung made one of the most famous discoveries. Every individual possesses a hidden, unmapped life within them that is beyond their control. This life comprises of different characteristics, aspirations, and feelings that a person develops throughout their life and learns to cast away. Perhaps you had a guardian or teacher figure who taught you that feeling anger is reprehensible, so you learned how to control and mask it. Maybe you were guilt-tripped for nurturing even the aspiration for obtaining wealth, leading to self-imposed limitations over your own success. Or deeper still, it is possible that the fear of being rejected and hurt keeps a person so small that they remain big in a small place. These claims illustrate that it is a sole responsibility detached from any help, which encompasses an individual into confinement. But here's the most astonishing truth. Jung did see the shadow, but as a flaw. For Jung, it was a matter of realizing one's utmost capabilities. The very aspect of yourself that you've suppressed for all your life is where your greatest strength resides. He warned us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Consider that for a moment. Everything you're struggling with right now, the doubts, the fears, the limits you are perpetually running into, are no flukes. They stem from the lack of conscious control you possess over yourself being the one in charge. If you don't face it, confront it, then you are bound to repeat the same cycles over and over for the rest of your life. But there is a way out. Jung readily explained that the moment you confront your shadow, something incredible takes place. You stop being controlled by it. The moment you call the deeply seated factors that are controlling your life to the surface, you take back control, in not only your thoughts, but your life as a whole. Pause for a moment to reflect on an intense emotional interaction you might have had with someone because, to be blunt, everyone has one. Perhaps this is an embodiment of resentment, jealousy, or anger. Those could have stemmed from a self-righteous coworker, a seemingly excessively successful friend, or even a stranger who makes no logical sense but nips at your nerves. Here's what might shock you. That case-in-point reaction did not stem from them, it emanated from you. Jung found out that the shadow is revealed through projection, self to the maximum. What this boils down to is the reason you may find it utterly irritating when others boast is because you have deeper issues with yourself that you have yet to come to terms with. More often than not, you tend to grudge on arrogant people because perhaps, on a subconscious level, you want to possess such grandiose self-confidence and were raised with the need to become smaller. You may also loathe someone for their unnecessary display of wealth, with the inner part of yourself so desperately wishing to achieve success, but feeling unworthy deep down. Have you noticed a pattern in your commonplace attraction to toxic relationships? You may very well be falling victim to your shadow, which, unbeknownst to you, is forcefully leading you to what is comfortable, even if it brings harm. As seen from Jung's work, one can understand that the world is a mirror, one that is unprecedentedly active in serving the pieces of you that are in desperate need of mending. If neglected, you can be rest assured to be trapped in the all-too familiar cycle of patterns. By learning to read these signs, however, probability speaks that you gain unadmitedly potent power, the unique ability to reshape your reality. From this point onwards, you will never be the same. The shadow is not your enemy. It is the missing piece needed to unleash the hidden potential you possess. So, the real question becomes, how do you plan to utilize it? Let's face it, the majority of people will never meet their shadow. Instead, they will choose to ignore it while scapegoating everything and everyone other than themselves. And it is no surprise that these people will keep repeating the same cycles of pain while asking themselves why life is arduous. They will unconditionally remain in the state of being stuck without realizing that the prison lock has always been open. But that is not you. Not anymore. You have accepted the truth, and the moment you do, there is no looking back. The shadow is not just an idea. It permeates every aspect of life, controlling your feelings, reasoning, and decisions. It is the reason you keep opportunity at arm's length. It is why you choose to deny love prior to it denying you. It is why the taste of success is equally feared as it is savored. The shadow is not an imaginary figure. It is you, the embodiment of an individual school to play safe, the embodiment of a person labeled as insufficient, the embodiment of an individual who wishes to achieve more but is too often disillusioned. Now, everything shifts here. When you cease to battle your shadow and lend an ear to it, you will witness everything change. Rather than a source of life that restricts you, it transforms into an existence that takes you where you are destined to reach. It bears all the secrets of self-assurance, innovative flair, and even personal success, romance, and freedom. Your shadow isn't your adversary. Rather, it is a supportive ally. Unleashing the hidden treasures within you lies behind embracing the shadow. How do you proceed? You trigger yourself first by examining who irritates you, what situations reduce you to nothing, and which feelings you'd rather not encounter. These annoying pieces of your existence are simply the shadow addressing you. Take a moment before attacking each and every one of them. What lesson is each of these presenting to the teacher you wish to call yourself? For example, why does someone else's arrogance irritate you so much? Perhaps you do admire a bit of that self-assuredness deep and center in the confines of your consciousness. For some, feeling envious of someone else's prosperity must mean one thing. You do desire great things in life, but there is something phenomenal about you feeling as if you are undeserving of them. There is indeed so much the external world needs to be forgiven for, and having to analyze each and every one of your triggers should guide you to looking internally. Everything you need is within you. The second portion entails confronting what you have decided to remain hidden far too deep in your memory. Pick a cozy spot, close your eyes, and take time to think about what you have been subconsciously running away from so desperately and for such a long period of time. What self-destructive behavior have you internalized? What do you feel begs for fulfillment, yet terrifies you to the core? At first, we all wish to run from these kinds of thoughts. What you should do instead, though, is the opposite. Instead, embrace them. Capture them on paper. Help them escape confinement. Taking action upon sighting them means no longer allowing them to control you. This stage takes us to the most powerful step of all: integration. Everything that you think you have rejected in yourself is actually a source of untapped power energy that just waits to be claimed. Anger? Anger is not destructive. It is passion, drive, and the fire that pushes you forward. Fear? Fear is not weakness. It is showing you exactly where your next breakthrough can be. Jealousy? It's not shameful. Jealousy is a sign that points you towards something deep that enables you to claim what you are meant to claim. Everything and anything that can be termed a primary emotion involves traits, desires, passion, and are suppressed, which is not wanted. Ever wondered why? These feelings can be manipulated to work in your favor, but you need to open your mind to them first. Most of the general population will never do this. The majority will run amok, pretending to distract themselves and numbing any sort of discomfort while blaming the world around them. These are the exact people, the type that will live forever and die oblivious to the fact that they had all the freedom in the world in their palm. However, you are not these people. There is a reason you are reading this text, and that is because of an inner truth inside you that knows something very powerful. You are free to choose. You can just ignore what has been outlined above and step back into the realm of illusion which rob everything, or you can choose to use the information as the first step to uncover your very own true potential. This is where your transformation begins. This is the point at which you seize control from the unconscious and begin to rewrite your own reality. Your shadow has been waiting for you to face it. The only question that remains is, are you ready? All your accomplishments, failures, fears, and even your desires have been sculpted by a force that exists deep within you. This force has been operating in the background, controlling the choices you make, influencing the relationships you build, and even determining the path your life takes. Without recognition, you will forever feel incomplete, like you are attempting to put a puzzle together with pieces cut into completely different shapes. No matter how much you try, you will always remain trapped in an unending cycle. You have been granted a chance to break through these never-ending barriers. However, this will not be achieved by dismissing your shadows. You integrate by accepting your full self, including every part. This is not only a level of self-awareness, but a power that can and should be reclaimed. When you take the leap to work with your shadow, instead of against it, your entire life changes. Suddenly, you stop attracting toxic circumstances, your confidence rises, and the patterns that once held you captive finally shatter. The majority of people will never arrive at this stage. Instead, they will keep distracting themselves, masking these truths under their excuses, routines, and superficial solutions. They will seek other people's approval, waiting for success, love, or money to fill the void, when in fact, the work has always been within them. / you don't see things like that anymore. You know that this is not only about psychology, but also about your control, how much authority you have over your life. And when, or if, you are prepared, truly prepared, it means that what comes next will be the most profound shift you will have experienced. / your shadow is not something that was formed overnight. It is not something that came into existence out of thin air. It is constructed, shaped by every experience and belief, every single moment in which you were instructed who you ought to be, and which aspects of yourself were supposed to be hidden. In our youthful days, we are innocent. Our feelings are expressed freely, truthfully, and shamelessly. We dance as if it were a joyous celebration, laugh when it is appropriate or not, and indulge everything in between. Then, out of nowhere, something disrupts that cycle. Society takes control. Parents correct us. Friends criticize us. Teachers discipline us, and over time we start developing a shell. We begin the process of denying ourselves the freedom of self-expression. Gradually, we conceal the essence of our being, sacrifice parts, and our inner selves to be accepted, to be loved, to be appreciated. With the passage of time, Jung called the concealed self the shadow. Every emotion we strive to conceal, each dream we neglect, and every aspect we adjudge to be inappropriate will become part of this shadow. The more people realize this is the essence of the issue, it goes beyond one's sense of inadequacy. Rather sternly, your self-imposed barriers can lock away your true strengths too. Your untapped potential, the dreams you would rather remain dormant, the hidden power you were taught to never bring into light. Dismissing your shadow doesn't eliminate its presence. The more you try to ignore it, the more in control it becomes, silently shaping reality in ways you are not cognizant of. This manifests itself through self-sabotage, fear of success, destructive relationships, or the inability to escape preordained patterns that your mind has created, patterns which feel like fate but are not. Does the phrase overreacting to an emotion ring a bell? Perhaps you felt resentment out of nowhere, experienced unusually intense jealousy, or found yourself afraid of something that didn't really make sense. These are all manifestations of the shadow which needs to be recognized and addressed. But remember, shadows are not enemies. In fact, shadows serve as a guiding force. They become a source of unparalleled strength when understood. Working with shadows instead of against them brings a powerful shift. This is where the true journey starts. Not battling the shadow, but living with it. learning to walk beside it, not as an enemy to be fought, but as a friend to be welcomed. Real strength will never come from denying facets of you. It derives from integration, from harmony, from accepting all that you are. And once you do that, you will be forever transformed. Consider standing in front of a mirror. You regard the reflection staring back at you, the face you exhibit to the world. But behind that reflection is an entirely different persona. The persona that is termed as a shadow. The persona that is seldom acknowledged, tucked away and thrown within the deepest pit of one's mind. The part of you that was apologetically silenced, concealed, and ashamed. This is what makes up your shadow self, and for better or worse, has had profound impacts on your life. From the active participation of daily life to underlying influences, your shadow self governs every aspect of your life. It integrates itself into your thinking, activities, and alterations. It shapes the places you visit frequently, people you meet, and the attitudes you wish to inculcate. Consider the moments where you lost your cool because of trivial matters. The unnecessary surge of fury, the unwelcome swell of grief, or the panic that didn't seem logical. That was not coincidental. That was your shadow attempting to break through to the conscious world. The issue is that, for many people, stopping to really listen is the hardest step to take. Instead, they suppress it deep within themselves. They work, follow the news, dive into a TV series, get into relationships, in short, everything except actually addressing what is going on internally. They fabricate excuses for themselves, claiming their pain and fears are simply who they are, not coming to terms with the fact that pain is self-inflicted, that it can be changed, that it did not have to be a part of their future, that it was merely an effect of the underlying forces that they refused to deal with in the first place. However, when you stop running away from your shadow and decide to confront it head-on, things start to get exciting. The things that once controlled you slowly stop doing so. The fears that forced most of your decisions are starting to fade away. The self-hatred that has been holding you down for far too long begins to lift. The truth is, when you choose not to take responsibility, surrendering is the alternative. The ignored part of yourself doesn't cease to exist, rather matures and hibernates until exposed. They will impact you, even if you struggle to comprehend it. They form your choices, your relationships, your view of what reality is, but the second you shine a light on them, they cease to have power over you. What's the first step to regaining control? The first step is knowing what needs to be changed. Identify things that trigger intense emotions. And opposed to acting according to how you're feeling, attempt to understand why you are feeling this way and what is currently being shown to you. The majority of individuals will so easily dismiss these opportunities. They subconsciously choose to continue existing in disbelief. They choose to believe the fault lies with an outside source, life, or even fate. However, there's always enough space for hope. Life can be perceived in a brighter spectrum. The reality is, the shift and change you seek all lies within you. After all, the exterior is simply a reflection of the internal struggle rooted deep within. Once you begin to perceive your shadow the way the world views it, the next step is accepting it. Silence yourself and feel free to stare off into a void. Now, with your eyes closed, ponder over, what are you afraid of? Sure, your mind has a tendency to be clouded with distractions, yet only that will lead towards you reaching optimal success. The secret to self-improvement is simply accepting the existence of hard truths and facing them head-on. However, don't cease your efforts. Continue your inquiries. Most importantly, be attentive. Then came the most decisive of all, integration. All the things you've been forced to deny within yourself are, in fact, the deepest potential for power you possess. Anger? It doesn't equate to destruction. It's a passion, a raging fire ready to be harnessed towards change. Fear? It's not a weakness, but a pointer guiding you straight to your next possible breakthrough. Jealousy? It certainly is not something to be ashamed of. Rather, it indicates what you were meant to claim. Most people will never do this work. They will continue running around trying to numb the pain or discomfort they might be facing, all the while convincing themselves that change is not necessary. The sad reality is that a vast majority of people spend their entire lives caged in an invisible prison, completely oblivious to the fact that they have always possessed the key to their liberation. But this does not apply to you, for you are aware of the truth. It is now clear to you that the shadow is not your enemy, but rather a vital piece you are always missing. The second you decide to accept it is when you stop getting manipulated by it. You become whole. You embrace your true power. That is when everything shifts.